This show is brought to you by MeUndies. Go to MeUndies.com/Joey to get 20% off of your first order. You can get a subscription or a single pair. You go to MeUndies.com/Joey to get 20% off of your first order, and shipping is always free in the US and Canada, and you can save up to $8 a pair with the MeUndies subscription plan. Show is also brought to you by Headspace. Go to headspace.com right now and download their free Headspace app. They're giving every listener of the Church of What's Happening Now a free trial of their Headspace app and begin their Take 10 program for 10 days of guided meditation. That's headspace.com/Joey to download the free Headspace app. Show is also brought to you by Onnit.com. Go to Onnit.com and use code word CHURCH to save 10% on all of their great optimization products like Alpha Brain, ShroomTech Immune, and ShroomTech Sport.
Kick that motherfucker, Lee. Wednesday, May 18th, you bad motherfuckers. Smoking, toking, lighting yourself on fire. I don't give a fuck. It's Wednesday, bitches. The day the devil was buried at sea. What? Respect it, bitch. Where's Hillary at? Until I call Earl. What? Lee Syatt. Joey the Kettlebell Alvarado. I love that fucking jam. First time I heard that jam, dog, I almost jumped out a window.
It's an awesome song, man.
It was in Boulder, Colorado. Then I heard it in Copland. In Copland, when they shoot under the bridge. That's the music that...
Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah, that's the music the black guy's playing with the machine gun. When they go back, then Wonder Boy jumps off the fucking building, and you hear that jam in the car, and the guy's driving by. You're like, Jesus fucking
When
Christ.
did you start getting into rap? Or hip-hop, I guess. Not rap.
Public Enemy. You know, listen, you got into rap if you liked hip-hop, whatever that fucking song was. I said a hip-hop.
Yeah. That's old school.
That's old school.
Old school stuff right there.
And then, you know, it evolved over the years. And then, I don't know. I really like Public Enemy.
Yeah. I was way back then, man, with Curtis Blow and all those guys.
Yeah. Like, I like basketball.
I was really into
and all that
breakdancing and stuff like that.
I never breakdanced.
That's what was in. It was like Curtis Blow, the Fat Boys, Run DMC. So
Africa Mambata, wanted for child molestation now and shit.
What?
Yeah, dog. I read an article the other day, like all black men should read this. And African Bombada molested a bunch of fucking kids.
Oh yeah, they had like kids,
bodyguards,
like everywhere. They would just bring like teams of them, and like he would have some travel allegedly. I don't know African Bombada, but according to the article, yeah.
Wow.
That is fucking. It's like a growing fucking. You know, and I tell you, when I was a kid, I suspected somebody at my high school, but I never heard some. A friend of mine told me, that he saw somebody sucking his dick one time. But he took me to basketball games and shit. Nah, I only got molested one time. Like, one guy tried to molest me one time in a car in the wintertime. I went down to play basketball. You know, I was a basketball player, and it snowed. And when it snowed in the East fucking coast, it snowed for 2 days. It locked the city up. So the buses, instead of running every 15 minutes, they were like every 2 hours. So I think I got a ride down there. But then on the way back, everything freezes up. It gets nighttime. It's dark. And I'm not hitchhiking. I'm just waiting for the bus. And some dude pulls over, and he went to hit the ball. And when he went to touch, he goes, "You like basketball?" When he went to hit the ball, he slipped and grabbed my cock. And at the next fucking light, God was in the car because the door just opened up. And I ran out of the car, and I ran across the street to Schutzen Park. Did I tell you this last week?
No.
Come on.
I think I've heard this story about the basketball before. But
I ran across the street to Schutzen Park. Schutzen Park is an old fucking German place that I grew up with. It's a banquet hall, and then they have a soccer field. And when I was a kid, we played baseball back there, but every once in a while, the chef, they called him the cook or something, the chef or whatever, he'd come back there with a hacker and a dog. And sick the dog on you, and we'd be with motorcycles back there. But they also had a soccer stadium, and they had, what's that metal that you sell, sheet metal, as a roof. So people could sit under the sheet metal. When we found out, we got to build a sheet Dog, if you go to that stadium right now, if it rains, those motherfuckers are fucked. We took every piece of fucking sheet metal there, one piece at a time. We'd go up there. We were 13. We knew nothing about nothing, but we knew if we got a piece of sheet metal, we could chop it 4 ways. It's $25 when you're fucking 13. That's a little bag of reefer, an 8-pack of beer, a couple hits of acid.
Pretty smart.
Yeah, maybe an album and shit. So we went back there. It was a German place. I ran in there. It just snowed, so I hid behind a snow pile. And I took like a bottle and waited for him to drive, but he never came in.
You had
there.
a bottle just waiting to crack.
Just ready to throw it at him with the window open and run, get him good and run, or maybe call the cops or whatever. See, he didn't know the back of that place like I knew. I had grown up in those fucking woods. I caught ringworm every summer. I knew those woods like the back of my fucking hand. I really did, man. So if you chased me into those woods, you were a dead man. You were not going to find me because I knew those woods. So.
Yeah, man. It's like Fort Jackson, South Carolina, man. I grew up on Fort Jackson, South Carolina for a long time. And, man, the woods over there, that was like our home.
That's your home.
That was our stomping ground.
That's your
spot.
Like you know everything.
Forts in there. We knew all the trees, where the creek was, where to cross the creek, everything, man. It was cool.
Somebody chases you, they're fucking done. The puts in there.
Lead him into traps and stuff.
Well, it's tough now. I mean, we just got that picture today on Twitter. Stuff changes all the time. Like, do you think you could still go in those woods? Like, we got that picture of Hashways. That's now something.
Yeah, it's a Cuban place. It's a Cuban place. I knew that. I knew. I didn't go into. Nobody has gone into that Cuban restaurant because it was like a 40-year restaurant in my hometown, like a deli. And it was a liquor store deli, and they opened up a Cuban place in there, and nobody's got, like, everybody I talked to, like Hashways, and I know it. Have you been to the new? No, I drive by it. I never see anybody in there. But people won't go in there because it meant so much to us. It was like Arnold's in Happy Days. You know? Where'd you grow up? You grew up everywhere, right, brother?
All over. Man, you have a good memory, Joey.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I did. I was born in L.A. My mom remarried. My stepfather was in the military. We moved to Germany, South Carolina, Belgium, back to Germany, back to South Carolina. Then I'm in LA now.
I remember you telling me stories as a kid in Belgium. That's fucking great. How old were you when you were in Belgium?
In Belgium, man. I didn't even know what Belgium was when my dad was like, we're getting stationed in Belgium. I was like, Belgium?
What language do they speak?
They speak 2 different languages. They speak French and they speak Flemish. Flemish, yeah. In the different regions, you know. I think Flemish is a combination of like Dutch and somebody's gonna.
How long did you live there for?
4 years, man. 4 years.
And
so I moved there.
I moved. You smoked reefer.
That is the first place I smoked.
And
reefer.
They have hash and everything.
Oh, are you kidding me, man? And you know, like in Europe, that's all they smoke.
Right, it's hash.
That's all they smoked, man. So that was the first thing I smoked was hash, because Amsterdam was only 2 hours away. So like when I moved to Belgium, I was just like, what do we do here? And people were like, oh, we hang out in bars. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, there's no drinking age. It's just like, that's the culture. You know what I mean?
How old were you at that point?
14 years old, man. So like, it's not even lying, man. You can ask any of my friends on Facebook from Shape, Belgium. We were hanging out in bars on the weekend, man. Hanging out in bars. We would take the train 2 hours away to go to Amsterdam, hang out in Amsterdam for the weekend, stay at a little hostel. Sometimes even just like stay up all night and sleep in a little corner in the street or something, you know? But yeah, man, that's all they smoked over there was hash. And then they had these little bars outside of the base that we used to hang out in. And you know what's crazy is like just about everybody smoked, everybody drank and everything. But everybody in my high school graduated. There was like no teenage pregnancies. There were no fights ever. Isn't that crazy?
You think because of the reefer?
I don't know, man. I've never smoked a joint or anything and then wanted to punch somebody in the face. So
Me neither. It's the worst when you get high and somebody ruins your fucking high with dumb shit. Like, I was just sitting here minding my own fucking business.
What was it like when you, because you said you came back and forth to the U.S. a couple times. After being a 14-year-old in a bar and doing that, and then coming back and 14-year-olds are going on play dates in the backs of vans. Like, was it weird?
Man, it's different. You know, it's culture shock because I lived from 14 years old through like 19 years old in Germany and Belgium. So everything is just, man, it's like culture shock. So for 8 years I was over there, and then I went right back to South Carolina, which is like the Bible Belt, you know. So it was different, man. You know, it's different. And I had just barely turned, and I was 20 years old when I moved back to South Carolina. So then I couldn't even drink at that time. And I remember my brother-in-law took me to a strip club when I turned 21. Yeah, so it's different, man.
And you're like, I've walked around Amsterdam from the time I was 14. The strip club isn't really that exciting.
It's really weird when you change cultures. Like, I always tell Lee, we grew up in a big place. Like, he grew up in Boston. I grew up in Jersey. You know, I was in that fucking big city every goddamn day. So it's really weird. When I left New York, I stopped doing a lot of the shit I stopped doing because I wouldn't get the satisfaction. Boulder and Colorado had other things to offer me other than New York. So you have to, when in Rome, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, when I went to Boulder at first, when I went to Aspen at first, I'm like, I'm not going to ski. And I'm like, what am I, an asshole?
Yeah.
What am I, a fucking asshole? I'm coming back here with this mentality, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I went to Sarasota that time, I got in trouble as a kid when I was 19. I had to go on the lam for a few months. And I went to Sarasota. I was in shock. Like the kid I was staying with was my age, and we had gone to high school together. And now he's living in Sarasota. And he had gone to high school in Sarasota for like 3 years. And I went to visit him, and it was like, this is what you fucking do? He's like, yeah, we go to the beach and fucking sing songs. Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking retarded? You know, it was so weird, the culture shock. Like when I went from even New York City to Snowmass Village, and I would go to those bars at night, and I'd go, this is not going to work. This is not going to work.
I know you don't remember, but did your mom ever talk about going from Cuba to New York City? Because I can't imagine you were, what, 6?
3?
3? From Havana to fucking Manhattan?
Wow.
Could you imagine? Like, I wish you had a journal or something.
I don't remember shit.
God.
I don't remember nothing. Like nothing. Like this. I remember looking at a beach. That's it. That's all I remember about Cuba, a beach. When I was a kid, I had more memories. Like I would tell my mom, I remember my dad in Cuba driving, but now that shit's gone.
Cuba, I definitely want to go to Cuba. It's supposed to be one of the top places to go for single men.
Yeah, because you could fuck hookers for $2.
Is that why?
Yeah.
I thought it was just easy to find a girlfriend over there or something.
No, there's no girlfriends over there. The girlfriends you meet stay over there. Unless you want to bring back some chick that Lamar Odom ate 2 years ago on the ranch, and now they shipped her back to Cuba to get rehabbed and shit.
Yeah, man. You know what? I think I had the most culture shock is whenever I moved from South Carolina to LA, man. I was like, wow. People could sense that I was still wet behind the ears, man.
But when I met you, I banged you for East LA right off the fucking bat. Like, no questions.
Did you really?
Right off the bat. And then I was
like
talking to the guy,
man.
And the guy said you had a school somewhere. So I'm like,
the guy.
You know, the guy that's hurt right now, the big guy.
Oh, Anthony. Yeah.
And he said
he
trained with you before.
Yeah.
And that, so I saw him. He's a Mexican-looking dude. You're a Mexican-looking dude. I put together East LA.
You think I look Mexican, really?
Yeah, sometimes.
I never get that, man. I never get that.
In your voice?
People ask me, you know.
What do they fucking ask you?
I'm like a chameleon. I've had people think I was Armenian.
See, I think you're
White Armenian. When I tell people I'm half Mexican and half Spanish. So they're like, really? I wouldn't have guessed that. I've had a guy tell me thought I was Filipino. Because my dad actually looks like he's Filipino. He could pass for a Filipino. He's like shorter and darker than me. But yeah, I had the most culture shock whenever I moved from South Carolina to LA.
In which way? I'm sorry.
Man, I just, I never been around gangs. I never been around crime or anything, man. And like when I moved into my first little pad over here, my pad was robbed. And I just remember like coming home and I had this new DVD player. And every time I would drive home, man, there would be like these 2 little cholos just like sitting there like looking at me like this. And I'd just be like, what are these fools doing? They're casing out my pad, man. They're casing out my pad, so when I came home one day, man, all my stuff was gone.
Well, it's scary when you're moving.
They know,
here.
Man. They're smart, dude. They're smart.
Well, they're smart, but then like, I got lucky when I moved here.
Or they're just
I
good
moved
at
to West
stealing.
LA. Like, no, because you'd look for apartments and it'd be like Baldwin Hills, or like I know Compton's not good, but there's some areas that like aren't good, and there's no like there was a guy apparently when Paula still lived in my girlfriend lived in Inglewood. She was like as white like me and just moved in there to go to college.
In the wood.
Yeah. But
I don't even think I've ever been. Yeah, maybe I have.
Did you like the South? Because I only got to spend like a week or so in the South. I drove through it. I loved it. Everyone was so nice and laid back. It seemed great.
Probably because you're white.
That's also probably true.
That's probably like I lived there as a kid too. Like we I forgot about, like, I was born here. We moved to Germany. We moved to South Carolina. So we lived in South Carolina for like 7 years. So that's whenever I was like, that's when I started getting, like, I really felt like a lot of racial tension over there. People would always ask me, like, what are you? You know, they didn't know because it was either white or black over there. You know, it was, you know, I had my, you know, it was a trip. You know, I got bullied a lot too. And that's what led to martial arts and everything too. So, but I mean, it's pretty boring, man. You know, I mean, it's just a different, whole different lifestyle out there, man. I like LA. You know, as soon as I came out to LA, I was like, this is where I was supposed to be the whole time. Because I mean, this is where my roots are anyway. You know.
Despite the robbing.
Yeah. Well, I was born here. You know, all my family's from here. My mother and my father were from here. You know, my sisters were born out here as well. You know.
When did you get into martial arts? How old were you?
Man, like 9, 10.
Over there?
Yeah, in South Carolina, and the whole reason was I was getting bullied all the time, man. The brothers used to kick my ass, dude. I don't know why. I was like the little Puerto Rican. I think it was because the sisters liked me. You know, they liked, I was like the little cute Puerto Rican boy, you know. I was a little curly hair. I used to have hair, by the way. Everybody goes like, when they see me with hair, they're like, oh, Professor, you had hair before? I had hair. I had a lot of curly hair, man. So black girls used to dig me, man. And I don't know why, but man, I used to get my ass kicked. I used to come home crying all the time. And my parents, you know, my dad, my stepfather, he was like from the avenues, and he was like the fighter. He was the fighter guy. You know, he boxed a little bit, so he'd knock fools out. So he was like, he knew how to fight, you know, and he was a tough guy. And my mom too, she was crazy. You know, she was from Dogtown. And they used to get really pissed off, man. They used to be like, why don't you fucking fight back? You know, you got to fight back. And I'm like, oh, I'm scared. I'd be crying and shit, you know. And then they know, like, I think I was scared because they were black too, you know, like, you know, intimidating out there. It was very intimidating for me, man. They're like, you know what? Everybody bleeds red, my mom would say, you know. And then finally I came home one day, man, crying again. And they're like, that's it, man. You know, you got to stick up for yourself. We got to do something. So they took me. At that time, Taekwondo was blowing up. Taekwondo was just, it was like on the verge of blowing up. So they took me to Moreland's Taekwondo Academy. And Master Moreland, he's this black guy that lived in Korea. He was stationed in Korea in the army. And he spoke fluent Korean, man. And he was like a master of Taekwondo, man. He used to come pick us up in his little Taekwondo van on base and pick all the kids up in the neighborhood. He would take us over there, train us. He would kick our ass, and then we'd all be crying in the van on the way home. Like, we were all like such little wusses, man. It was funny. We all like, because he would spar with us, man. And then when I look back, we were just pussies, basically, man. We were just whiners. We were little babies, man. You know, we thought he was beating us, but he really wasn't, man. We were just like scared, you know. But man, he toughened me up, man. It took me a couple of years, because even after taking Taekwondo for a couple of years, I still hadn't really grown up and got that confidence yet, you know. So I was like a late bloomer, man. But yeah, I did Taekwondo with Master Moreland for like the whole time I was in South Carolina, and Hapkido. And then we moved to Belgium. I did some Taekwondo over there, played a little football, played a little baseball, you know, partied a little bit, moved to Germany, and then I would train at like little local schmokel places, you know, at little clubs here and there. But it's the one thing that I kept up with my whole life. And as soon as I got back to LA, I went right back with my old master Moreland. He's in Atlanta now. Shout out. But he was like legendary in South Carolina. They used to call him Gus, man, because he kicked like a mule. Like, he used to get one of those heavy bags, and it was so impressive. He used to even impress my dad, who could fight, you know. He would kick the bag, man, so hard. Have you ever punched a heavy bag?
Yeah.
This guy would kick the heavy bag so hard in the middle, it would fold in half, man. I still can't do that to this day, you know. But they used to call him Gus, man. He was like, he was pretty legendary back there. But he was awesome, man. I have some really, really awesome memories with that guy, man. He was like a very good looking black. You know, he looked like Marvin Gaye, man, and he could sing like him too. But now he looks like Marvin Gaye with dreads now. He's awesome though, man. I still like aspire to be as great as him. He's even Hapkido and Taekwondo, man. He's Steven Seagal your ass, you know. For real.
He gave you a black belt?
He gave me my black belt, yeah, man.
And then when did Jiu-Jitsu come into the game?
Jiu-Jitsu, man. I'm going to say probably like around 94. What happened was, like, you know, I had already had a black belt Taekwondo, Hapkido. I had a brown black in another Korean martial art called Kuksul. So I was at that point I had plenty of street fights, and I won mostly like on my athleticism and my speed and stuff like that. I don't think I ever used actual taekwondo or hapkido techniques in a street fight. But what happened, I started bouncing at this bar in Columbia, South Carolina called Group Therapy. And I got lucky, man, and I I escorted some guys out like Steven Seagal style, you know, like that. So then after that, the head bouncer would always like want me to escort people out just so they could see Joey like Steven Seagal people, you know. And so this one night, man, I'll never forget this day because it changed my life forever, man. It was packed, and Scott Finelli was like, Joey, watch this guy right here. He's causing a lot of problems. And he was like, when I give you the signal, just get him out of there. So he gave me the signal, and I said, hey, man, you got to get out of here, you know, because you're causing too much trouble. He was like, F you, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, listen, man, I'm going to escort you out. And he's like, fuck you, you try it, you know. And I don't even know how we wrestled outside of the door. But as soon as we got outside on the concrete, he took me to the ground, and he mounted me, man. And I had never done anything on the ground before, man, ever. I'd never been in that position before. And I'll never forget, he was in full mount. He cocked his arm back to punch me. And I just remember going helpless. I was like a fish out of water. I was just totally helpless. And I was going, I'm going to get my face pounded in. And I'll never forget this guy, Scott Swindle. He was a bartender. He must have hopped over the bar and he grabbed that guy's hand in the last minute. And I was just like, whew. And then all the other bouncers were just kind of looking like, damn, that guy was about to beat Joey's ass, you know what I mean? And I was just like, wow, man, I couldn't sleep, you know? And I started questioning everything I ever did, and I was like, you know what, man, I don't think I know how to fight, you know? I don't think I know how to fight. What the hell? You know, I have all these black belts and I can't fight. I was like, that's crazy. Some crazy redneck guy was about to kick my ass, you know? So then I started researching martial arts, and I think it might have been like Black Belt Magazine or something, and I saw this ad, fight like a Navy SEAL. And I was like, you know what? If it's good enough for the SEALs, it must be pretty damn good because the SEALs are some bad motherfuckers, you know? So I ordered those VHS tapes. VHS tapes. And all he was this guy, Frank Cucci, man. He was a Navy SEAL. He was SEAL Team 6, man, the legendary SEAL Team 6, man. Still in awe of this guy, man, of what he's done and everything, you know, and how he served our country and stuff. Anyway, he probably doesn't even remember who I was, man. I had hair back then and everything. I sent him messages on Facebook, and he never replies. He's probably like, who's this fucking guy, you know? But, man, that guy changed my life. Like, I got his videos, and it was in the video, he was just teaching, like, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and some Filipino stick and knife fighting, like Kali, because I guess, you know, SEALs have knives and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. I was like, I never seen people kick each other in the legs, or I never seen, like, Muay Thai before. I never seen Filipino martial arts. And I was like, this is some crazy shit. I never seen Jiu-Jitsu, man, on the ground, you know? I was like, wow, this is crazy, you know?
Did you know it was jiu-jitsu that he was doing on you or no?
I did, just because he was talking about it in the video, you know?
Oh, like no, I meant like when he got attacked or when the guy
mounted you.
No. That guy was like just street style, man. He was just like one of those short, cock strong motherfuckers, man, you know? Like, just like, I locked onto him. I remember going, God damn, this guy's strong, you know? I don't even know how I got out the door, but I don't know what he did to take me down. I don't even remember how I got to the ground, man. It was just like, I was like, what the hell's going on, man? I didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu. I never heard of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I never heard of fighting. There was a martial art that focused on the ground. You know, that's how I was just in this little whole, like, I thought Korean martial arts were the best martial arts. You know what I mean? I was just all Korean martial arts. I was like eating kimchi all the time and shit. But it just so happened that Frank's gym was in Virginia Beach, and I started dating a Filipino girl that was up there. And I was like, oh, man, I'm just going to kill two birds with one stone. So I started taking lessons from him. And that's when I started my jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai journey. And back then I was doing some Filipino stick and knife fighting. And I would drive up to Virginia Beach. And then I had a couple friends that I was like, hey, man, let's work on this shit. You know, this guy, Philip Willis, and another guy that has a gym. He's had a gym over in South Carolina for a long time, Mark Mills. And I pretty much, if you ask Mark, I think I was the first person doing jiu-jitsu in South Carolina. There was nobody doing jiu-jitsu in '94. He wasn't even doing. He was doing like Dan and Asanto stuff, you know, like, you know, Dan Guru Dan. He does a little bit of everything, but they were doing more like shoot wrestling and stuff like that, you know. So he did a little shoot wrestling, but you know, jiu-jitsu is a far superior grappling art than shoot wrestling. You know, it's a little bit more developed. So like at that time, like, the little jiu-jitsu I knew, I could tap him, you know what I mean? And I didn't know shit, dude. I just knew like 6 moves, you know what I mean? Because that's all I would do. He'd give me 3 moves. I would videotape. I would come back and we would work on those 3 moves. You know what I mean? But we got really good, man, because we would master those 3 moves. You know what I mean? I could armbar anybody back then, you know. But yeah, so that's how I started, man. And then I was reunited with my biological father after like 26 years, which brought me back out here. Turns out he was like a world-class boxer. It was crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm gonna write a book one day. I'm giving you like the short version. So then I came out here. My dad taught me how to train me to box for a couple years. Then they opened the Machado Academy. And then I started with them, and Hegan gave me my blue belt. We were just talking about Hegan. And then I continued my tutelage with Roger. And I had it took me like more or less like almost 20 years. I mean, you know, I had to stop for a couple years for certain reasons, you know, but I started in 94, and 20 years later I got a black belt from Roger. You know, I had to take 7 years off because I fought professional MMA for like 7 years, you know. I didn't have time to train gi. You know, I had a full-time job, and I was fighting and running a gym too, you know, so. But yeah, that's when I started, like probably back in, like when I was 10. Jiu-jitsu back in like 94-ish. I'm really bad with dates, man, so.
No, it's a long fucking journey.
It's long, man. It's long. It's crazy.
It's really crazy. You brought something up that's really interesting. Is like, let's say you learn traditional karate. Mm-hmm. And you go there 3-4 times a week, you spar, you go to tournaments, and you go there for 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, you get your black belt. And you leave there feeling like, you know, same thing with Taekwondo or Hapkido or, you know, and that's why, like, years ago, I was 418 pounds. I joined Weight Watchers. I didn't know what to do. But my life was everywhere. I had just cleaned up in the drugs. I said, you know what? My life went down the tubes when I quit martial arts. I'm going to give it a whiz. And I really looked into a program. You know, I really looked into different programs. And I was sold on Kempo. I really liked the Kempo, the thing.
It's not a bad martial art.
Old school Kempo.
Well, like what? Ed Parker?
Yes, with the leg, the guy. I talked to him. I talked about him when Frank Mir was here. And my buddy called. He goes, hey, he wants you to call him. I think he's mad at you for talking about it. There's a guy up in Frank Santos, and he teaches a real old school type Kempo. And his teacher was one of the Ed Parker guys that went to jail for murder in like Glendale, some David something. And I liked that style, but it was only 2 days a week, and it was at odd times. And I said, I got to get something. And then I was interested in a program, but it was all the way in Marina Del Rey. And that's just not, when you live in Hollywood, that's just not going to work for me.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
Hollywood, man, like that's like, I mean, LA is kind of like the mecca of
martial arts.
Yeah, so they didn't have anything closer?
Nah, I found this. I was shooting this $100 a day movie I didn't want to fucking shoot. I reneged on it since day one. They wanted to do rehearsals and shit. And I'm like, for $100 a day, dog, Madflavor don't do rehearsals, all right? I ain't rehearsing this. I just show up and I fucking do it. And I saw some dude, and I said, oh, there's a little black dude, and he told me he's been training, you know. And I go, where you go? And he goes, I go to the style nobody's really heard. It's called One Hapkido.
Oh, no, I know who that is. That's like One Hapkido. That's Mark Dacascos. Mark Dacascos, only the strong.
So I went to a guy that he had, it was Dacascos' father's first black belt. It's two brothers.
It was his father that developed that martial art,
which is a great martial art. And I'll tell you what,
I have no.
It's the same thing you're talking about. What it is what this fucking guy did was he took boxing to start off with. Okay. He took boxing. He took some circular stuff from Kung Fu, like kicks. He also took some stuff from Thai. Really? You move to the side and you kick the leg. A lot of leg kicks in this. He threw some Kempo in there. So after you kick the leg and you land, the knee hits that spot and you trick the guy. You know, he took a couple nice kicks that keep you interested, but everything's very low. Everything in that school is the waist down. The only thing that comes at you is a straight side kick to the solar plex.
I mean leg-wise, kicking-wise.
Leg-wise, yeah. Everything's very conservative in that art. And for a month at a time, there's times you go there and they give you sticks. And it's a fucking drag. But you do everything with the sticks, and there's a whole process to it.
Like what?
He teaches you range. First he gives you sticks for a month, then he gives you knife for a month, then he makes you do the same movements with your hands. So it was really weird that I had been a Subak-do guy for 6 years. I had been a Goju karate guy. I learned Ichinryu karate for 6 years. And not one fucking person ever mentioned range. But the other thing he had in this art was that he finished you off half jiu-jitsu. The problem with this guy was he was 53. He had studied all this stuff, and then 6 years ago, they added jiu-jitsu into the mix. Simple stuff, side control, an Americana, side control, a choke. But nothing was taught with good technique. Nothing was really taught. My point is that at least this guy taught something. Kwon Hapkido I think about him a lot. He's on my Facebook page. I really do. I think of him a lot. It's just
man, you know what? It sounds like he was a pretty smart guy.
The problem is his class, he's black. So the class starts at 10, but he don't show up till 11:15. I'm supposed to be out of there by 11:30. We're still doing jumping jacks at 11:30. Some days you walk out of there at 1:15. That's good some days when you're bored.
Yeah.
He's such an old school martial artist that there's really no clock.
Oh, man.
People are just bowing out. After like 2 hours, people start bowing out. But my point is that it's so funny. His little fucking classes made me fall in love with jiu-jitsu.
That's cool, man.
Because here I was friends with Eddie for all that time. But because sometimes you had to take the guy down. So kick again. I remember doing it and going, oh, my God, if I ever got into this situation, I'm a dead man. I was 418 pounds. I couldn't do anything. And it took me a year after I quit that because we moved. We moved to the Valley. And again, I started getting busy. I started shooting My Name is Earl. And I'm getting there at fucking 10 o'clock, stretching out at 9:45. And, you know me, dog. I try to get there 10, 15 minutes early.
Man, you do, man.
You want to stretch out a little bit. And this guy's showing up. He showed up at 10, but all of a sudden we get into a talking challenge with the whole class.
That's
people come visit him.
That's the worst.
That would drive me crazy. People come
worst.
visit him when he's teaching. You can't come visit Alvarado when he's teaching. and Alvarado's want to talk to you. And you got to whistle and you want to show him pictures.
That would not happen at Legacy show.
But let me tell you something. His fucking style is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what would happen to you. And now when you go to different karate tournaments and you go, what do you think of Kwon Hapkido? All the people laugh at those guys. They go, they're tournament guys. You know why they're tournament guys? Because that's how they train you to be.
Yeah, man.
Everything is real quick. Side kick, punch, backhand, take down, boom, you're out of there. You know.
For sure.
Who the fuck knows what the fuck? Now, kettlebells. When did this come into the picture?
Kettlebells. What does my shirt say?
2009.
Probably like I think that's when I released my first DVD. Probably a couple years before that. I had first opened my gym, SoCal MMA. It's like really like the first real MMA gym in the Northeast LA area. And I had this little tiny gym and I had this one business partner. I had a bunch of business partners with that gym, man. It was a freaking nightmare. But Bill Stower, he was like a really awesome business partner, man. And we're just trying to figure out ways to attract people, different boot camps to have, you know. I was already doing like a little boot camp, you know, and I had my own little repertoire of stuff I did. But, you know, he was smart. He was trying to attract people, so he's like, why don't we get a kettlebell coach? And I was like, hey, man, that's a good idea. I was like, I've seen those things. I was smart enough to know that you needed instruction for it. You know what I mean? I didn't know what to do with one of those things, you know? So then he got this one guy, he did some research and he found some guy that was certified by a certain kettlebell organization, you know? And he came in and he showed us like 5 moves, man, you know? And that's what we did for like 6 months, like 5 moves. And like at first people thought it was cool and I thought it was just awesome. I never did the kettlebell swing. When I first did the kettlebell swing, I was like, wow, man, this is a freaking crazy exercise. I was like, I love this exercise. Like, why? Like, how do I not know this exercise? And he showed us the Turkish get up and right away I was like, man, this is just like doing... the first time I did the Turkish get up, I was like, this is like doing the technical lift that we call it in jiu-jitsu. I was like, right away, I was like, cool, I dig it. But we never really did anything else. And then people stopped coming to the class, and I was just like, you know, light bulb popped up in my head one day, and I was like, I think you could do some jiu-jitsu moves with this kettlebell thing, you know. And I started researching different kettlebell instructors like Steve Maxwell and Steve Cotter. Those guys are really, really awesome. You know, like they were like my influences, you know, and they were doing stuff a little bit different. Steve Cotter was doing some like some martial art influence stuff back in the day, but he's like a little bit more sport now. He's really into the sport aspect of it, you know. But back in the day, I could see he was like experimenting with the whole martial art, the martial art connection to kettlebells. But nobody was really doing anything really just like, I thought that was just like making kettlebells like the star of the show. You know, I was like, man, you could do so many things with this. And yeah, so I started experimenting with it, and I started developing different movements with it. And then I was looking for some kettlebells to buy, and I stumbled upon this website, My Mad Methods, and these guys had videos, and I was like, wow, these guys are thinking outside of the box a little bit. You know, they weren't doing what I was doing, but they were still doing different things. I realized in the kettlebell community, people were afraid to do something different other than those 5 moves, you know, because that's how these people kind of programmed them. You could only do these moves. All you need is these moves, so that
swings, Turkish get up,
swings, deadlifts, Turkish get up, snatches. Snatches are like the be all, and then
cleans, press.
Yeah, just real basic, nothing really fun, and they weren't really putting together. I always felt like I got a workout from the waist down. I never felt like it was incorporating a lot of upper body and stuff like that. And I wanted things to be more like MMA style, because that's what at the time I was I still fighting MMA? I think I may have just retired or whatever, but I had an MMA gym. I wanted it to be like an MMA workout. Like, you know, the circuit training was really in with mixed martial artists, you know, making everything anaerobic, you know, so that's how I wanted to do it. So that's how I started making my workouts, you know, incorporating all your bodies. You're pushing, you're pulling, you're using your legs, you're using your core. You know, that's how it is when you're fighting. You know, you're using everything. So that's how I wanted to structure the workouts, and I did. Anyway, I met Mark. I bought kettlebells from him, and then I was like, hey man, I've been developing this program I call Kettle Jitsu or whatever. I'd like you to see some of the moves and tell me what you think, you know, because I knew he had been doing kettlebell stuff long before me. And I started doing some stuff on the ground, and he was just like, his eyes, he said, you mind if I film it? And I was like, no, go ahead. And he was like, and his eyes just got big, and he was like, dude, we need to do a DVD. And I was like, really? I was like, cool, man. I was like, really? I didn't know if he was serious. I was like, really? A DVD? I was like, wow, man, that's like huge, you know? So we did, man. And my first DVD was called Combat Kettlebell Systems. And I mean, we weren't like P90X status, but man, nobody had ever seen anything. People doing jiu-jitsu, kettlebell moves with on the ground, jiu-jitsu moves, and people had never seen anything on the ground other than the Turkish get-up, really, you know?
So I know you can't get on like the table and do a move, but is it like, are you doing like, oh yeah, maybe do it like,
I can do anything.
Is it like, explain what a move would be.
Look up Combat Kettlebell System. Can you do that?
We might get pulled down even though you're here.
Oh no, don't worry about it then. No. But yeah. You can see if you've seen the video. But like one of the first moves I think was the hip escape. We were just talking about the hip escape.
Right.
But like my master Roger always called it snake move.
Well, I always see you hold the kettlebell right here, and you get in the basic position, and you just do a hip escape and push out a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. You could do that.
So your hip.
You could do it like that. You could do it.
How many times on each side?
Oh man, you know, like there's so many different ways you can structure workouts. You know, you could do it for reps. You could do it for time. You know, you could do the circuits with it. You know, there's so many different ways, man. It's just like really like kettlebell and body weight is kind of like almost like a blank canvas, man. You could just do so many things, man. It's just really only limited to your imagination.
Now
you know?
Explain the body weight side to me. What kind of exercise are those?
Body weight, man. The same thing, the same concept I use is just I try to make all the training like use as many muscles as possible to make it like fighting, because you know, like in jiu-jitsu, after you roll, man, you've used just about every muscle. So that's how I structure them. I kind of combine traditional body weight standards, and I mix it up with like sport specific Brazilian jiu-jitsu movements, you know, and combine them into different flows and different circuits. And you know, I could just go on, man. It's kind of hard to explain, you know. But
do you still incorporate swings too, or is it all?
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Swings, but like you know, like I do a lot of different swing variations. Like I mean, your basic, you know, your basic swing variations.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, the one-handed swing, two-handed swing.
There you go. You know the names. Good, man. Like that's better. Like Joey's like that thing. No, but like that one thing that I do.
The fucking thing, you know.
The fucking thing.
That's what I get yelled at.
Like I never know what he's talking about, because he's always like, you know, I do that one thing when you do this, and I do that other thing.
It's, you know how at the movies how they have like a puzzle and it like slowly reveals itself. That's what Joey he gets through it. He's like the thing with the kettlebell.
Is that your word thing?
I don't know. I have to listen. Like I tell people, after 1 o'clock, you're on your own. You know what I'm saying?
It's gotten earlier than 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah.
The endurance. I'm 53. The endurance has gone down.
Yeah.
Used to be after 2. Like I get calls, and I remember that dog. He called me at home at 5. You're doomed. I'm sitting on that chair without my schedule in front of me. I don't know what you're talking about, but they ain't happening.
And you'll just yes him to death. That's my like that's your next shirt, please. Yes him to death.
You gotta yes him to death. Whatever.
Yes, him to death. That thing. That's another shirt with a kettlebell.
That thing.
That thing. Yeah, but what I like, what you're asking about swings. Yeah, I do swings, but just doing like those swings alone get boring. Swings, one-handed swings. So like I like to mix it up, man. Try to incorporate like walking swings, hopping swings.
Walking swings?
Walking swings, brother.
Ooh. Do you still swing through your legs?
Yeah, man. But you take a step forward as you swing. You pop your hips up, take a step forward, and then you do it again. And you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like if you go on my Instagram, just look up Kettle Jitsu. You guys can see me doing just about all kinds of crazy stuff with kettlebells, And then like I love high pulls, man. You know how to do a high pull?
Like on the way to the snatch?
Yeah. See, and that's like how traditional people teach it. Like it's a precursor to the snatch, but the way I do it more like you're throwing a punch. So what you're doing is you're popping your hips and you're retracting your arm back, driving it, and then you're punching it back out. So man, like after you do like high pulls like that, man, shadow box and see how fast your hands are. It's doing the same movements that you use when you're punching, man. So I throw punches with the kettlebells too. So, but from a fighting stance. So I do swings from like a fighting stance. I do high pulls from a fighting stance.
10-pound kettlebells. You throw punches with?
No, like I mean, man, like people like put so much emphasis on weight. I think I probably do punching like 12 kilograms, 6 kilogram. 16 kilograms. That's about as high as I go with that.
32 pounds. You throw a punch with 32 pounds.
Yeah, but you're using the same mechanics as you do with the swing as well. I'm gonna have to send you some footage, man. I thought you checked out my stuff, Joey.
I did. I didn't see that.
It's Yogi Steve taught us. It's when you go back and you're bringing it up. On the way to the snatch, you just go bam.
Yeah. You just drive it. You just drive it back. Like the way the old school people do it. You pop it up and then you just kind of drive your.
And you still bend your knees on the way down.
Yeah. You still hinge. You don't bend. You still hinge and you still pop your hips and then. But that's like the old school where they kind of do it like because they don't really put too much emphasis on the high pull because they're using that to teach you how to use the snatch more. But I like to use the high pull as an exercise itself just because there's not too many moves where you can work a pulling, a hinging motion like a swing, a pulling motion like a row, and a punching motion all in one exercise. Just using your pop, 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 pop. I gotta show you how to do it, man. It's a cool exercise, and it's really awesome, and it definitely helps out with your hands.
Now, in your hour workout, you said something very interesting before.
Okay.
I read when I first started getting into kettlebells, I read that nothing burns more calories than swings. Mm-hmm. Like swings are it.
Yeah.
You said before that your 1 hour class burns fucking more calories than like how many calories you think in a 1 hour class with the swings?
I think it's like this. Like I think one guy was wearing those heart rate monitors, and I think we burned like 800 calories. Like this girl the other night, my friend Jennifer, she was wearing a heart rate monitor. I think she burned like 500, but she was stopping and stuff like that.
Everybody's different.
She's nursing like this little hip thing, but she kept stopping and she kept fucking around with that heart monitor because it kept moving around, So she burned like 500. I remember my cousin burned like 800. So yeah, you burn a lot of calories.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man, it's no joke. Like the swings. Like I remember when I first learned swings. Man, I was breathing heavy, and I was like, wow, I never did that before. But then, if you keep doing swings two-handed swings over and over and over and over, it's just not going to have that same effect because your body just gets used to it. You know what I mean? That's why you got to mix it up.
Absolutely.
Mix it up and do different things, man, because your body just gets used to everything really quick. So that's why I'm always doing, like say, for instance, this week, what is our swing variation? This week, the swing variation we're using is just alternating swings. And then last week, we were doing the walking swings. And then, like figure eights, how to do figure eights and figure eight to a hold. And then I have another one where I do a hooking punch with a figure eight. It's called a fighter's figure eight. Man, it's just never ending, man. I'm always, I'm naturally creative. So I'm always trying to, push the envelope a little bit, man. I take being a trainer very seriously because people don't want to come to you and do the same shit over and over and over again. You know, that's a fact, man. I've learned that. That's one of the things I learned. I remember the whole reason I started researching other exercise programs and stuff like that was because I remember one of my longtime students, Letty, man, and she was just a beast, man. She was like a really good volleyball player in high school, like 5'11", she kicked like a freaking mule. And she turned to me one day, she was like, "Can we do something different?" You know, and I was like, "Whoa, shit, man, you know, I better like step up my game, you know." So I never want to have another student tell me that again, man. Like, can we do something different? And it hasn't, man, because every week is going to be something different. You know, so like you might not see that workout that we did this week. You won't see that workout again for another few months. So by the time I teach that workout again, it's going to seem like a whole new thing to those people again. You know what I mean? So that's how I structure. You know, it's variety, man. Variety is extremely important, dude. You know, to retain clients. I have clients that have been with me for like 6 years that followed me from like Highland Park to Burbank, and they make that drive, man. You know what? That's a pain in the ass. You know, I drive back and forth like a few times a day, but you know, it's no big deal, man. But when you have a full-time job, like a regular job and stuff like that, it's tough, man. But I have students that have been with me 5-6 years that drive up to Burbank at 5:30 in the morning to be with me, to train. You know, it's a huge compliment to me, man. I love that, man. Like loyalty I love that, man. So and I think that's part of the reason why, because it's always something different, man. You know, it's always something different. You got to keep things fresh for people, man. If you don't, then it'll be difficult to retain them, man. That's why jiu-jitsu is so awesome, is because, man, you could never learn everything in jiu-jitsu. You just can't do it, man. It's always going to be something new, man. Always something new, you know. So that's what makes it exciting, is like, you know, man, no matter what, man, I've been training 20 years, man, over 20 years, and new techniques are being developed all the time.
I went to a meeting.
My game is changing all the time.
I went to a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and in that meeting, I came up with an idea. I said, you know, there's restaurant critics, and there's disc critics. I go, give me a job where I go into any fucking place. That's San Lazaro, big fucking dude in Cuba. Don't go to Cuba and say fuck San Lazaro. They'll find you in pieces in somebody's sandwich. Those are the dogs. Anyway, it's really weird. I love going to places like if I go to a lumberyard and they don't take care of me the proper way, I don't get mad, but I think about guys like Lee. I think about Joe America, who really believes that he's going to go to Kohl's. I don't know. I'm just saying the name of a hardware store, and they're going to take care of him from A to Z. You know, I have an office. I don't know what the fuck to do. How big is the office, sir? You know, it's a big difference of me going, hey, take a look at that and see what you like, and walking away. It's the guy that goes, hold on one second. How big is your office? Why do you want to use brick? What kind of lights are you going to use? I didn't think of lights. Lee, did you think of lights? Yeah, I thought about lights, Joe. Remember I said, oh, fuck
that
you,
sounds like a guy that's taking pride in his job.
Taking his pride in his job. I go to a restaurant, same thing. I'm watching the waiter. I went someplace the other day, and while I was eating, I knew I was making a mistake. You know why? Because there was fingerprints on the glass. Yeah. Anytime I go to a place and there's fingerprints on the glass of a restaurant, that's not good. That tells me that 10 people in there didn't have the initiative to wipe the fingerprints off the fucking glass. That's a bad move. That means you don't clean the bathroom. That means you don't wipe your ass. That means you leave your house without taking a shower. It all fits hand in fucking hand.
Yeah, man. If they're not cleaning the glass, what else are they not cleaning, man?
I love going to places, and for me feeling at home and comfortable and stuff, you know, VMAC was a great jiu-jitsu place. It just, my hours didn't accommodate their hours and vice versa. Yeah. I feel bad that I can't go there at night, but I'm not a night jiu-jitsu guy. My life is, I have other things at night. Tonight the class starts at 9:15. You know, yeah. By the time you get out of there, you're walking around fucking breathing heavy at 2 in the fucking morning. Still, you can't sleep. Yeah. So I gotta be on a fucking. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be on a fucking plane. So yeah, you're breathing. You ever go to jiu-jitsu? Really? On the way home, even after you take a shower, you should be breathing a little heavy.
Oh yeah.
When the fighter is giving the fucking interview, even after the fight, 10 minutes, he's still breathing heavy at the fucking press conference. Now he's sweating.
Your endorphins are kicking.
Down.
Your endorphins are kicking.
You know. So it's true. I can't be up till 2 in the morning. I get angry. I come in, now I'm thinking about a move. Who fucking scissored me? I got to talk to professor about the fucking, what's when they put the butterfly sweep, or what's when they do this shit to you? You end up like fucking, they put the arms in your sleep. What's this thing? That thing when they put
what is that?
When they put their fucking feet in your
spider guard.
Spider guard. You go home all scratching your head. What the fuck was that? I'm not even going to have a protein drink tonight. You know, it's true. So I've been going over there by you guys, and like I told somebody today, they were like, "Dog, they have Tick Fit. They got that." I go, you know why? Alberto's a genius because
man, that's,
he knows that if you go someplace else to kickbox, and they got jiu-jitsu, and you like the jiu-jitsu, you're gonna leave.
Yeah.
He has everything for you.
Alberto's smart, man.
He's smart. You can't go in there and say, well, you know what? I just want to do jumping jacks and sit-ups. I got the class for you. Show up at 8:45. We'll do 15 minutes, and I'll say, he's got everything. Tick Fit, no gi, and you leave there, and you look at it and you go, an hour. All these other schools, you know what? I don't have an hour and a half sometimes, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I got all day to fucking burn time. Mondays, I don't. Monday, I got to be in and out of there and in and out of there, you know. And sometimes it breaks your heart because I'm not leaving at 12:45. You know, I'm not leaving at 20. If I can't make the whole class, I just won't fucking go. If I can't get to the beginning, I don't fucking go. I can't walk in there late. That's part of the whole fucking thing. Somebody was telling me they did something, and he was really embarrassed how people, the students, he goes, I showed up, and the students were showing up 20 minutes late. My friend went to Redondo Beach, and he took some of his people down to the train. And he said his students showed up late. He never thought about how rude that is. And I go, dog, that's always rude when somebody walks. And I get it. There's some people who get off at 12 noon.
Yeah.
But the motherfuckers that come in, you know, it drives me crazy.
Yeah,
but anyway,
man.
that's a completely different subject.
Punctuality, man. That's
punctuality. That's what, you know.
It's like a thing of the past, man.
And in L.A., it don't work no more.
Oh, man.
In L.A., it don't work. And they don't call you. Bro, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's doing a big-time show next week, and the fucking lady pulled out. That's like with Chris Weidman, like in a week or so. When is it Chris Weidman fight? June 2nd.
Let me check.
June 4th, June 2nd, something like that.
Chris Weidman and Luke Rockhold, right?
Yeah. It got canceled.
Yeah.
It got canceled?
Luke's fighting Bisping.
June 4th.
No way, man.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Are you serious? Oh, wow.
Weidman got hurt.
Shut your mouth.
Like something in his spine, like a disc or something.
Yeah, he got hurt.
I really like Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
I love Michael Bisping too, man, because that guy, you know.
Michael Bisping gave
fucking beast.
Anderson Silva a fucking
Yeah,
fight.
man.
I don't know who won. I don't know the point system. I saw the knee.
I like Bisping, man.
You know, what's
He's
his name
smart,
was looking
man.
around. I don't fucking know. But this
Rockhold,
might be a
man.
great fight.
I don't think so.
This might be a great fight, or Rockhold's just that fucking good.
I think Rockhold's just a freaking monster,
But
man.
remember, you got Jacare coming at him next.
Yeah, hey, man. I love Jacare, man. Like,
According to Dana White, they said it was going to be Jacare, but he just had a meniscus surgery.
no way. So he injured his...
Yeah, but Dana White fought last week. Yeah. Dana White. Jacare fought last Saturday, so he probably had the surgery on Tuesday. He's getting ready. He don't want to waste no time. He's gonna do one-stop shopping for training. Rehab the knee and fucking train at the same time.
Rockhold, man, like, dude, like, his top game is crazy. Like, when he took Lyoto Machida down, Lyoto could not get back to his feet, man. He couldn't get back to his feet, man. He pummeled that guy. Same thing when he got Weidman on the ground. Weidman couldn't do anything. So he must have some crazy, like, top pressure. I don't know what it is, man, but Luke Rockhold, man, he's a monster, dude. He's a monster, dude. So, man, I think physically he's just going to be a lot bigger and stronger than Bisping as well. He's just a beast, and he's young, man. He's a young stud, dude. You know, Bisping's been around in the game for a minute too, man. But he's savvy, man. And he's legit, man. But man, wow, what a disappointment, man. I really wanted to see the rematch, you know, because that Weidman fight, man. The only thing he was doing good until he did that stupid ass kick, man. When he did that kick, dude, it wasn't even there, man. That spinning kick. He just must have had like one of those brain farts or something, man. Because that was just a poorly timed kick. I think he was just maybe a little bit tired and just like, I don't know. But once he threw that kick, that was the end right there. So that was just like a really big mistake right there.
I don't know about you. You know, I got maybe into 6-3 fights and I got beat up 4 of them. I got like a 2-4 record, but none of them were. But none of them were because I gave my back. I don't know.
You're talking about on the street or MMA?
In anything, I don't like that spinning backhand.
The spinning backhand.
I do not like the spinning back kick on the street or
in
the fucking street or whatever. Because I've seen, bro, one time I saw a dude in West New York pick up a motherfucker and dump him on his head.
Oh, yeah, man.
That dude's still squeezing the ball, fucking yelling fucking bingo. I think he can finally pronounce the G now, and that was in 82, right? I mean, it's just so many things that could go wrong. I hate all that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I hate all that back shit. Spinning back kick in a tournament in fucking Glendale. I'm in. But you're not gonna do that spinning black. You know what I'm saying?
On the street, man. You gotta be like really,
and especially
really,
today's
really,
economy
really
with these athletic motherfuckers who are doing CrossFit and they're jumping fences and shit.
They're doing parkour.
Yeah, you throw 2 of those kicks and I start timing that motherfucker and I give it to you.
Yeah, you'll be surprised how many people pick up just from being UFC fans, man. You know, like there's people that come into the gym. I've seen it a million times, man. Like
everyone goes for the armbar.
Have you ever trained before? No. And then they're like armbarring and triangle.
Last week,
the
kid from Portugal. Oh my God, he was motherfucking mauling people.
He was upsetting one guy. He was like, "Fuck, man, you didn't just only train 4 times, man." And this guy is like triangling people and guillotining people, and he's like, just like a wiry cat, man. I think he's like when you look at him, he's ripped
and
he's
strong.
Ripped. Yeah,
he choked me one time. He's young and strong,
but he never trained. He never trained jujitsu before he came to the gym.
He was like a jujitsu assassin. He just
came in, dude,
killing
motherfuckers.
He's tapping all the fundamental guys and telling everybody this is like his 3rd class. No, he's a cool guy. He's a cool kid. I believe him. I believe him, man. I think he's just like. He's just a natural, man. I think he's probably seen it before, and then he's just naturally athletic, and just some people just got that like that crazy strength, man. You know, like people rolling like every person that's rolled with him. I haven't rolled with him yet, but they're just like, oh my God, that guy's strong. But you saw how Tarzan handled him. Did you see how Tarzan handled him?
No.
Oh man, who do you know the little short guy Benny? Benny.
No.
I call him Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Little short guy. Anyway, he had just rolled with Gil, and Gil actually popped his rib because he just like had him in guard and like squeezed his ribs real hard. Anyway, I put Gil with Tarzan, and Eric's been with me for about 3 years or so, like that, you know. And then Eric just controlled him, you know, calmed him down, you know, because that guy's he's a scrappy cat, man. He's like all over the place. He's like a little mongoose or something like that. He's like fast and quick, and then Eric just like slowed him down because Eric's a fucking little. He's a strong motherfucker, dude. He's a strong guy,
jacked
dude.
my shoulders really bad.
I heard. Yeah, I thought you tapped yourself out when you did that one.
No, he did. That's why.
He tapped you.
No, I tapped myself because he put my shoulder in fucking limbo. Like I don't have that type of yoga.
Oh, you know what? He gets that position where
he gets that position. So that's what killed me.
So anyway, like, Eric controlled him, swept him, and tapped him, and I was like, yeah, cool, man. I wanted to see if Eric could solve that puzzle, man. You know what I mean? Because I was watching him. I was like, oh, he's just kind of like quick and explosive, you know, like that. So like people like that, you got to like slow them down. You know what I mean? Just kind of slow their game down a little bit, and then wait for them to make a mistake, and they'll do something stupid, and then you can sweep them or submit them or whatever. But yeah, man, Tarzan handled it.
I know you hear this constantly, and people hear this constantly, but it's a big disappointment in my life. I wish I would have started jiu-jitsu at 40.
Oh man, you killing me? Are you kidding me?
Jesus fucking
I wish I would have.
What a great
wrestled
thing.
in high school.
What a great sweat. How good I sleep at night. You know, I get up, like I got a system now. I come home and I put my feet up real high. And I force myself to watch TV or read for an hour. And I pee like a motherfucker after that. And I try to get it all out before I fucking get into a deep REM. You know what I'm saying? And then I go in and I sleep for like an hour and a half and I got to pee. But after that first pee, I'm good to go till 7 a.m. Dog, you know what I'm saying? You got to time that shit when you're an old man. You got to time it and shit. Let me give a shout out and we'll finish this. There's some more shit I got to ask you.
Cool.
My main man in Australia, Ali Baz, always on top of it. My man in Bakersfield, Matt Baker Jiu-Jitsu up there.
What's up, Matt? Professor
Bitch
Matt.
slapping motherfuckers.
Awesome guy.
Thomas Easter, always making it happen. Doing shows over at Marty's all weekend. David Rubio. My girl Melissa Eva Perez shows up, doesn't say hello. I wanted to fucking kiss the baby. Matt Stone, Garrison Berger, Chad Reeser, and Mike Lalo. And as always, my girl Ookie Spooky, bitch slapping motherfuckers on Twitter as usual. You know what I'm saying? Ookie Spooky gets a couple Jackson Cokes and you're fucking doomed, cocksucker. You gotta close your account. You pull a Mike Favorman, you know what I'm saying?
Ookie Spooky is an actual person?
Yes, she is. She's one of the Austin high elites down there with fucking Bobby Sharon and my girl down there, the princess.
I gotta find her on. Is she on Instagram?
Oh yeah, she's on Twitter.
I don't really do Twitter too. I don't really do
anyway. You gotta do
Spooky.
Twitter. You gotta do Twitter
I swear,
because
I
what
don't
you're
know
doing right now. Listen, man, I don't do dick. That's my brother over there. He knows I don't do dick. I
hope not.
Yesterday, you had 4 people watching you. I was one of those people watching the class.
Okay.
And I was
on the little live feed.
And I was watching how you were mixing the kettlebells with the body weight sort of exercises.
Yeah, well, I start off with body weight. Body weight. I do body weight first, just, because I think you should master your body first. It's your body, man. You should be master of your body. It's like, so we do that. That way, you're thoroughly warm before you even touch the kettlebell.
Look at the shape of this dude. 5 stars in. Look at the shape. You should have seen how he was looking at you. He was looking at you in fear. Every time you said body weight, his eyes kept getting bigger and bigger.
I hate the movement exercises.
Do you? They kill me.
I guarantee you won't hate my stuff, man.
Well,
I've never had anybody leave my class and go like.
I don't hate it because of the work. It's the stuff where like you like do like the push up and down the floor and.
Oh, you're talking about like crawling and all that stuff, like.
Yeah.
Okay, like animal style movements. And
stuff.
Yeah. Those are tough, man. If you've never done them, man, because like all that crawling around, like the bear crawls and the different animal stuff. It's like all core. It's all like right here, man. So like it kills women because women I think are naturally a little bit weaker in the stomach area, So it kills women.
Well, especially if you've given birth, it's tough to recover those
I think
muscles after the pregnancy and stuff. So it takes a while.
For sure, man.
Because that's what my wife was bitching about. That those muscles, it took her a long time. That's why my wife ordered a 25-pound kettlebell, and she still does those Turkish fucking get-ups. My wife is hooked on those Turkish get-ups, dog.
It's a good exercise.
And it's a good exercise. She compliments it with yoga.
Yeah.
She goes to yoga one day. The other day she takes. Excuse me.
It's a good exercise.
I just burped the fucking salad. Tremendous.
It was tough because when we did a class together for a while, and I used to try to avoid those because it was always at the end and you didn't really have to do them. But now where I go, we have to do them every day.
What's that? Do like a Turkish get up every day?
Yeah.
3 days a week. 3 days a week he goes. He goes Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Wow. But the workouts are shorter.
Today was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, the workouts are shorter, and then he does like 15 minutes of stuff, and you're in and out of there. There's a lot of strength guys that go in there.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to competitions.
I don't do I don't have that. Again, like I don't have that traditional mindset of Turkish get-ups like they do. Like my last download was just all on a whole 1 month program on Turkish get-ups alone.
Your whole thing?
Like my last download was a 1 month Turkish get-up program that leads to what I call the Brazilian get-up, which becomes like the technical lift with the kettlebell. So like I guarantee you, like half the traditional people couldn't do one of my I'll do a 1 hour workout on the Turkish get-up alone. I teach it body weight, and then I teach it with the kettlebell, and I break each thing down, and you drill each movement that makes up a Turkish get-up by itself.
Oh no!
Until you master the movements, because it's a weird movement to master. When you teach somebody a technical lift in jiu-jitsu, it's just like
it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare, man. It really is, man. And I've been teaching the technical lift so much since I've been in, because it's in the fundamentals program at Legacy. I've always taught it, but we got 10,000 students at Legacy. We got a ton of students, so I teach it so much, and I see it's just a coordination that is really difficult for people to get, man. And the technical lift is just like the Turkish get-up. So in order to teach those movements, if you break it down into a few different steps and have them master each little step, then it becomes easier whenever you teach it all together. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Right. Well, about 6 weeks ago, what happened was I went to went to the lunchtime classes. Mm-hmm. And as a warm-up, you made us do a Turkish get-up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. My body went into shock because I started sweating so much.
Just a body weight Turkish get-up.
Just a body weight. It just, you just keep doing them slow, but you made us rotate the leg, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So now when I go on the road, that's how I open my workouts.
Yeah, man, that's a good word.
You do 5 on each side. Let me tell you something. You're fucking drenched.
Or you could time yourself.
And I go with the elliptical, then I go back. That's how I close the work, and I close it on my back, doing the fucking the hip things, escapes. Why not? What the fuck? That's your biggest problem. It's your core.
Is that sit-up move that you've been doing with the kettlebell one of Joey's moves?
Which one?
I had it when I went to Higgins. One of Higgins' guys did it. He saw me one day struggling with that move to get the Kimura from the closed guard. And he goes, you should do these. But he didn't add anything else. He just had like an 8-pound ball. So my neighbor had an 8-pound ball. He goes, you want it? I'm going to throw it away. So I've been doing it with an 8-pound ball. So one day, I took my wife's kettlebell, and I said, let me see if I can do them with 25 pounds. I was in fucking shock. I was doing them with 25 pounds. And that day, I just did sets of like 15, like 5 sets of 15.
And what is it? Is it sit-up?
It's a sit-up.
What is it? So you're on your back.
I'm on my back. Let the kettlebell go behind me, and then put it up over here. Sit up, and then go.
Oh, okay.
So boom, and do the squat, the hip. So it's like 6 movements.
I call it like, but you're on your back when you do it.
I'm on my back the whole time.
It's a pull over to a press.
To a press.
Pull over to a press.
To a press with a sit up, with a little fucking hip escape. Not a hip escape, but a hip bump. Mm-hmm. So I do the whole thing.
Oh, you mean like a bridge?
A bridge, yeah. I do the whole fucking thing. So I do bridge, boom, beep, bop, 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 and you breathe. And at first I was doing them all wild. Now I breathe with the movement.
Yeah.
You know, so bam, 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 bam. You know, and it's not fucking bad. You break the goddamn sweat.
Can I please train you?
Yes, someday I'll be in there. You
No,
do that. Let me tell you something. 5:30 in the fucking morning. Listen, heart attacks happen the most between 6 and fucking 12. Now they're fucking with me.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact. Okay, number 2. That's number 1. Number 2, I take that. My doctor said to me, just take a pill before you fucking go work out. Now I read the other day the journal. They want you to take one for breakfast and one before you go to bed, so you don't have a heart attack before you go to bed, especially if you got sleep apnea. Me, I'm trying to get off the water before I go to bed. Now they tell me I got to drink water before you go to bed so you're not dry at night so you don't get a heart attack.
Who's they?
Who the fuck knows? The Journal of fucking Medicine from Belgium. I don't fucking know. I read whatever fucking Google puts up there.
Oh, you shouldn't Google.
I don't Google dick. I get on there in the fucking mornings.
What, it just shows up on your computer screen?
Yeah, Yahoo, whatever that pays. They always have like a medical advice page, and the other day they said, you got to read that shit. These are new inventions, you know. You got to stay on top of these things. What the fuck? If it says you got to take a fucking aspirin, you got to take an aspirin. You got to do something. I don't want to. Now I called today. They gave me the surgery for whatever, July, whatever, that Monday. I got to go to the doctor the 5th and do the pre-op. That means blood and fucking lungs and the whole thing. I'm going to go strong I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu strong to the 11th. Because after the 11th, I really can't do jiu-jitsu. I can't breathe out of my nose as it is fucking now. Can you imagine I'll blow the fucking, I could just see me in a class blowing the cottons out of my nose and seeing the blood shoot and just fainting. Alberto Crane give me the Heimlich.
No, don't do that on Alberto's new mat.
No. So I'm just going to I got to switch up different workouts. Yeah. So I'm going to just do walking farmer walks with 2 20-pound kettlebells, walk from here to Glendale and back and fucking shit like that. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because you don't want to get out of jiu-jitsu shape for too long. Because it's a motherfucker to go back, dog. That's when you tap. You go, fuck this.
That is what my stuff is all about, brother.
All right. So it's me and
hey,
you
man,
I'll fall off.
Send me your email and I'll send you my downloads.
Okay. No. And then you have the other class, which is, let me tell you about, listen, people, everybody has different things in their lives. Me in the mornings, unless I got an interview or something, I'm pretty wide open. Mm-hmm. I just don't like moving around too much in the morning because I'm scared of getting car sick. Mm-hmm. Like I could get car sick at any fucking time when I drive with an empty stomach. I got to be real. Okay. So if I want to be somewhere at 8, I got to get up like at 5 and smoke dope and eat some nicotine gum. I got to tighten my body. I got to clean the cat litter box. I got to make a fucking yogurt smoothie with the what do you call that shit? The almond milk. Leo gave me the recipe with the flax seeds.
Leo, yeah.
So I get that in me. Then I get my 2 eggs with the multi-grain bread. I do that for breakfast.
Check
only the egg yolks, too.
You eat better than me.
I don't eat egg whites. Fuck that shit.
No?
Just egg yolks. No, egg whites is what's killing America. I'm an egg yolk type of motherfucker. Right?
Let's go straight for the fat.
Yeah, fuck that. It's fat, but it's good fat. Look at the people who are jumping up and look at those Africans.
It tastes better.
When those Africans were getting eaten alive by flies, you know why the flies were eating them? Because they would eat 1 egg a day. And the flies knew that fat was sweet, yum, yum. Fucking fly.
The fly, they knew.
Who the fuck are you kidding? Who do you think you're dealing with? Some novice? I know my facts.
That's awesome, man.
So see,
wait. What's Joey like to have as a student?
Oh, he's awesome.
I don't say 2 words.
I don't think he's he's not like this, man. He's a good student. Like when we're training jiu-jitsu, it's about jiu-jitsu for Joey. So, I mean, like he sits there and he pays attention. He's a good student because he asks questions and he asks smart questions, And yeah, man, he's a very good student, dude. He listens and he's cool, man. He's very, he's always like, Professor Joey, you're awesome, man. I love you, dude. But
I don't like when I went to those classes in Hollywood. Let me tell you what happens. I would go to those classes and I'd sit there and watch actors, actresses, and wannabe comics. The Kung Fu class, the One Hump Kundo, it was a great school. He taught a great program. He had a great program. He has a great heart. He's a great teacher. I'm surprised a lot of fighters haven't gone in there because the guy knows his shit with range and punches and kicks and sneaky shit. Like, you know, how to get a backhand in there to score a point, but that backhand might knock you the fuck out, you know? What was I saying here? But it was a lot of people. I would go in there, and it would irritate me when somebody was cute in the class. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you do outside for a living. Don't do it in here. Don't bring that shit in here. When I go in there, I want to be a fat fuck in the back. I don't mind washing the fucking mats at the end. I don't care about that stuff. I'll do it because that's how I grew up in martial arts. And there's a certain way that there's a certain way to this, and it improves certain things. Number one being tardiness. In LA, once you start getting busy, you're gonna notice everybody wants to meet with you for lunch. You're gonna learn what it is to fucking be agitated to no end.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Especially when you have meetings behind that. So I gotta meet Lee at 2. I got a lunch date at 12:30 in Beverly Boulevard. I got to meet Lee at 2 here. I got to be out of Beverly Boulevard by 1:30. But guess what? This jerko don't show up till 1:15 because there was traffic on the 405. 2 hours?
You don't say.
2 hours? You didn't leave at fucking 10 o'clock like I did, cocksucker? But that's how they lead their fucking lives. See, they don't give a fuck. So I started doing that also. I started going, well, Joey's going to be fucking late. I'm going to do it to Joe.
I feel you.
And one day I go, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
I'm going to be early all the time, and I'm going to say something to them at lunch. Excuse me. From now on, I got a schedule. You got to say something, because if not, they won't do it again. And some people actually will call you after lunch and go, hey, man, you were right. Thank you for bringing that up. I got a bad fucking habit. I got to get my schedule back out or whatever. So I always, I always just try to go in there, shut my mouth, and learn. I'm really eager about this, and this is what happens. I'm trying to dive myself into it in the same manner I took to comedy. That's my secret.
Yeah.
You don't go to jiu-jitsu when you feel good. You go to jiu-jitsu when you feel bad. I trained myself to go to. I was in such a hole. I went to prison. When I came out, I lost a kid with my wife. That I would force myself to do comedy when I felt bad.
Yeah.
Anybody could go when you win the lottery. Anybody could go down there and crack jokes. And it's when you don't feel good. So there's times like I'm fucking sore, When you do 2 shows on a Friday and Saturday, dog, and you stand there for an hour a show, and all you're doing is giving out energy. I can't tell you what I feel like when I go back to the room. Sometimes I go back to the room, take a shower, and in the shower, it feels like somebody kicked my thighs. Like I just stood there for somebody. And they gave me thigh kicks because my feet settled into the. You gotta fucking take that energy out of the fucking ground. So your feet actually become like gorilla feet, and they grow prawns, and they become.
Lock yourself into
the
ground.
They become half bloods,
Mud
bloods, and your feet climb into, and that's. A lot of times I catch myself. I'm like, I gotta breathe, dog. My fucking legs right now, you couldn't kick them down. I don't give a fuck if Van Damme kicked them 10 times. He'd break his foot on my fucking thigh. So it's so weird I could do that. And I'll get there and I'll wake up on a Sunday and go, fucking, when you take those rides, Lee, when you come with me to Bakersfield, all those 1-hour drives, after I do an hour of comedy and I drop you off, it takes me 15 minutes to climb up the stairs. Because rigor mortis sets in. Because usually when you go to jiu-jitsu, you stretch out, and by the time you get in your car, you're a little cold, and then you drive home. But that fucking 45-hour drive kills me on those nights. Like I can actually hear my legs popping, like pa pa pa. It's that bad.
Because you're not when you're on stage, you're really not moving around a lot. You're just kind of sitting.
Oh, I move a lot. No, I move. But when you move, you gotta fucking move. People they sense fear, bro.
Oh, yeah,
they sense fear. So my movements have to be karate movements. You ever see a band called Bad Company?
Of course.
Okay, hey, do me a favor. Put on Bad Company. No, put on Queen VH1 Honors. I'm going to show you something.
Queen VH.
Okay,
VH1
the singer from Bad Company.
Paul Rogers.
Paul Rogers is a well-known black belt.
Is he really? I didn't know he was a black belt. Really?
Badass. He beat the fuck out of Simon Kirk. That's why Bad Company broke up. He broke his jaw with a sidekick.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I thought I was pretty good with music trivia, man. But
he went over to Queen. He's 60-something at the time of this video. Forget about his singing. Forget about his singing. Right there. Yeah, the show must go on. I want you to see his movements. And I want you to tell me.
I've never seen this video before.
Because you fucking around throwing up kettlebells. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here smoking dope, holding it down for the savages.
Check this out, man.
This is a phenomenal
Paul Rogers with Queen.
Yes, they still tour. Now he's touring with Bad Company.
I just can't picture his voice with Queen, though, because he has like that raspy voice.
Listen to the songs.
Let's rock this out, man. I mean, he has that classic Rod Stewart raspy voice or whatever, you know?
Listen, watch his movements. Look at his body. He's 60-something. Look at the wig. Look at the wig. Look at the wig.
Is that a wig?
That's a wig. It's a skunk.
Come on.
Fresh and imported.
What are we living for? Abandoned places. I guess we know the score.
Look at that skunk, dog.
Really? I can't tell, man.
Does anybody know what we are living for?
These kids in Vegas have no idea who Paul Rogers is at this time.
Nah, man. People don't know.
No, they don't have any idea.
Got Brian May. He looks good, man.
Oh,
That's his hair, right? That is his hair.
Yeah, this is 6 or 7 years ago. He does a bunch of front stances. There you go. He starts doing his little front stances.
Wow, he sounds good with Queen.
Dog, this dude's a savage.
He sounds good with Queen, man. I just couldn't picture him because Freddie Mercury's voice is entirely different.
See, he does front stances the whole way. He's doing little front. He's fucking 58 years old. Look at him.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's about to throw a little karate punch right there.
Nice. He's a bad motherfucker.
He still has his voice, man. He still has his voice. That's awesome, man. Now, some people, when they get older, man, their voice just doesn't sound the same. But man, he sounds fantastic.
Listen to this motherfucker. You know, this came on live. Yeah. And I watched it the first time.
When was this?
I was still living in Hollywood. I was right here.
This is like really old then.
Right here, I'm drooling. This is 2008.
Got Brian May ripping it up.
Yeah, no, this is real. This was
right
like a Thursday night at the Hard Rock in
That.
Vegas.
Yeah, man.
They gave away free tickets.
These guys got chemistry, man.
Oh yeah.
It's hard, like, you know, whenever you get a group and then you take the singer out and you put another singer in, sometimes it just doesn't work.
I got more trivia for you.
Doesn't work. Go, lay it on me, man.
When Jim Morrison died, he was play it. Don't fucking lower it. Look at this motherfucker. Look at her. Are you kidding me? Now he's got him. Look at him, front stance. Look at him, front stance.
I want him to throw like a front snap kick or something. Check out Brian May, dude. Listen to that.
Tremendous.
To that guitar. He can pluck on that guitar, man. He's got like a very, you know, whenever Brian May hits a chord, you know it's Brian May. He has a very distinct sound. There he is, another front stance.
Look at his neck. Look at that shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Must go. Dang.
Look at those kids were like, God damn, fuck Britney Spears.
Yeah, man.
What did we just get hit with? We felt
awesome,
his
man.
voice.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You feel his fucking voice.
You hear
the
the crowd was cheering big time, man. That was awesome, dude. I have to look that up again.
So tell these people how they can learn about Kettle Jitsu, the classes you offer, where to get a hold of you.
KettleJitsu.com, man. You just look up Kettle Jitsu
And
anywhere.
don't be wearing the same shirt as me. You make me look like a half a fag. You walk in here, I'm like, what the fuck?
For classes, man, go to www.legacybjj.com. That's the spot right there, man. You know, it's an amazing gym. I've been working for Alberto Crane at his gym, Legacy, for like over a year and a half now, man. Honestly, man, I've never been happier, man. I love Professor because he's a perfectionist, man. Like, look at the gym, man. How many jiu-jitsu gyms are you gonna go to that look like that?
I still haven't gotten foot fungus.
Exactly. You're not going to,
I
man,
wash my
because
feet when I get home with
not
the
going to,
fucking
man.
soap and everything.
Not going to. Professor, he's always, hey, do you like the new mats, man? How do you like the new gis? You know, he wants everybody to be happy. He just wants everybody to be happy and train. And I think that's why we get along so well. Is because, you know, we understand what it is to be in the gym business, and we want people to be happy, man. You know, people come there to be happy, and we want to show people a good time, show them good jiu-jitsu, have them train, and then just leave happy, man. And I really think that he's built like something more than a gym, man. It's a whole community, man, with the cafe next door. We got Muay Thai, we got Kettle Jitsu and Tough Girl Boot Camp, and
You offered me
Jiu-Jitsu
lunch
and
yesterday. I
gi.
was really embarrassed. He was going to buy an acai bowl because he had just given me 2 patches.
Ah, man, don't worry.
I felt
man.
so embarrassed.
Yeah, he's such a giving person, man. He's freaking always giving me shit too. He's a fucking awesome guy, man. It's a great place to train, man. You know, so, you know, if it wasn't for that place, I wouldn't have met you.
And you still do privates?
I do everything, man.
Just get a hold of you. You have a page on Facebook?
Yeah, man. I got a personal page, and then I have the Kettle Jitsu fan page. I have Instagram. Just look at Kettle Jitsu, it'll all come up. Everything.
We're going to send Lee one day to do the class.
Man.
How you doing,
I
brother?
got you, Lee.
I'm doing
What
good.
do you got
I want to
going on
make
this
you
week?
like body weight training.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
It wasn't a question. It was a statement. I want to teach you how to do those things.
Those things.
Those things.
the things. Okay.
Lee's
He's
really
like-
been best.
you
Lee
can tell he's
joined
really
that
into it.
place just when I joined you guys.
Oh,
And
what is that
that's-
place?
We talk every morning on the way back, and he's having a good time. I'm having a good, Lee went to jiu-jitsu with me. He didn't like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
And
You know.
that's what makes the world go round. And not everybody's a fucking momo, and but that's it, man. I really enjoy what you teach. I can feel your heart in it when you teach.
Oh, yeah,
it.
man.
It's a great sense of
my
humor.
passion.
Like I told Professor Donnie, I go, that I've been running into years of charlatans, for
Mm-hmm.
years. It's so nice it takes me 15 minutes to get over there, 15 minutes to get
Yeah,
home.
man. Convenience is everything, man. You know.
That's what, it's 7 days a week. I get off the plane early. I can shoot over there on a Sunday if something goes deep. I still haven't gone to none of the night classes because, like I said, man, my night.
Nah, man. You get it in. You get it in.
At 5
down there.
o'clock,
It's fine.
everything changes in my
Yeah,
world.
you
I
get
gotta
it in
pick
though,
her up.
Joey.
I got to go do this thing tonight. I got to go pick up the kid, drop her off, eat, stall her, and then
You
shoot
listen, man. You listen. I told you. I think you asked me about training, and I was just like, just be consistent, man. I was like, if you're gonna do 2 days a week, do 2 days a week every week. You know, if you're gonna do 3 days, give yourself a number and just do it, make it. And you've been doing it, man. You've been
I'm going for
consistent.
13 this month.
That's why you got
13
that.
classes.
That's why you got that crazy side mount that nobody can get out of.
I'm trying.
You
It's
got
not
it, man.
that I'm a fat fuck.
You had Tarzan in a side mount for like 10 minutes today.
Well, I'm trying to play the Hegan game to wear him out
Oh, my
and
God,
make
yeah.
his arm pop up and pop the Matt Baker. See, I'm trying to do that Matt Baker guard from the top there.
the guard from the top.
The side control, Matt Baker style. And I wait for his arm to pop up, and then I go for the
You know
Kimura.
Matt? You know Matt?
Yeah, I met him at Alberto's, and then one day we
Okay.
met, and Matt, and I worked a little bit, and I got to go up there one day when I don't get car sick on a Wednesday or Thursday.
He's a great guy, man.
He's a great guy, man.
He's a great
So-
guy. He's such a nice guy, and man, he's got some sick jujitsu too, man. He's like one of the top master competitors around. That's how I know him, man. I compete so much, and he competes at every freaking tournament, man. I respect people like that because people like us, we're never happy, man. We want to just keep pushing ourselves. Like Alberto, like me and Professor Crane are like the oldest people in Burbank, and I think we're the most active competitors, man. We just keep Professor, man. He's gone, and then he just won a tournament in freaking Poland or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and me, I was just in Rome competing and stuff like that. I was in Portugal competing or whatever, Like, yeah, Matt. That's how I met Matt. I just always see him at the tournament. So, hey, I think I know you because he's a Jean-Jacques black belt and I'm a Roger Machado black belt. And yeah, man, he's a cool guy, man. Super nice guy, very humble.
Very humble.
And man, just legit jiu-jitsu, man. He's good, man. I dig people like that because people like that really understand jiu-jitsu.
High percentage short moves.
Yeah, man, he's good, man.
That's
what we were talking about. I was like, like when people reach black belt to that level, they got their moves, man. They got their moves that they do that nobody else does. Matt does a bunch of stuff that I don't do. I'm sure I could learn a lot from that guy. He's really good. So he has his own little game, man. Yeah, man, he's legit. He's good. Cool guy, man. Really cool guy.
Hey, thank you again for coming on.
Hey, man, thank you for having me. It was awesome.
And also, if you want to get Professor Joey's Kettle Jitsu videos, they're on it. One of our sponsors. As usual, brother. Alpha Brain. Get you to the next level. You're walking around half retarded. You don't know what it is. The cat won't come to you because you're a fucking momo. You got to balance yourself out. You got to smoke a couple doobs. You got to do some jumping jacks. You got to pop some Alpha Brains. You got to get your life together. Eat a couple apples. Maybe fucking drink a smoothie. Maybe a little fucking hemp protein powder.
I think I need some of that Alpha
Some
Brain.
shroom tech. Nah, I don't have none on me, but I got to put it in order. I'll drop some more for you. Those fucking things are tremendous, but you got to do them in cycles like steroids.
Oh, yeah?
Because you start seeing through walls and shit. You go to a hotel, you see some midget whacking off.
Where do you come up with this stuff, man?
Shit, I'm telling you. After 3 weeks on Alpha Brain, you're looking through fuking walls, dog. It's too much. You're a psychic. You know what the horse is going to win the day before. You feel rain. You don't need that. Anyway, go to Honor.com for all the nutrients, supplements, whether it's Hemp Force, Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech Sport, Shroom Tech Immune. They'll take you to the fucking moon if you let them. Go to Honor.com and press in. CHURCH and get the fucking party started. Get the package delivered to your house. Alpha Brain, 30-day money-back guarantee. No bullshit. Plain and simple, all right? Also.
Sounds like a bargain.
Listen, I got a couple pair of underwears I wear. I don't like too many fucking underwears, okay? I really don't. When I was a kid, it was either underwear or cocaine. Guess who won? Who gets coke snorted off their dick? Me. So what if I don't get underwear and my dick smells like pee? Who gives a fuck? But now it's 2016. You gotta act like a fucking savage. So that's where MeUndies comes in. When I go to jiu-jitsu, a gym, deadlifts, even when I go on the road to sleep, I don't like wearing fucking underwear on stage. But I'll tell you what, when I go to jiu-jitsu, I like my balls in place. I don't want a man to grab me in a deep fucking half and all of a sudden get a nut in his hand. Nobody needs that. You know what I'm saying? That's like going to Vegas and getting thrown out of the Southwest. That's like going to Vegas.
What kind of underwear are these you're talking about?
These are MeUndies, the best fucking underwear you will ever put on.
MeUndies?
Yes, MeUndies. They have a material called Modal. Listen. You're wearing a suit or sweats. You spend this fucking candle is gonna burn this paperwork, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like fucking real Jimmy Westwood. I'm this paper. Fucking Jimmy Westwood. That's my boy Maj Jabrani. His film is premiering. Don't forget to go see it. Anyway, whether you're wearing a suit or sweats, you spend almost 24 hours a day in your underwear. Not me. I only go to jiu-jitsu and the drive there and back when my ass is sweating. But instead of making a statement like Superman's tight under his everyday clothes, your underwear is probably fucking boring. They're white. They got skid marks. They got little yellow stains in the front, you filthy fucking animals. Anyway, MeUndies is here to change all that shit, all right? It's over. You know why? Why? Let me tell you why. Because their fucking underwear are 2016. They're comfortable. They're different. They got colors. You look like a fucking human being. And they're comfortable. Every pair of MeUndies is made with substantially sourced Modal. You ready for that? Modal. Mohdar. A-L. Modal. A fabric that's twice as soft as cotton. All right. Nothing can describe the fit and the feel of MeUndies. But once you try these motherfuckers on, forget about it. You understand why they're called the world's most comfortable underwear, period. I do not do anything unless I got my MeUndies on because they keep the fucking sweat out of my nutsack. They keep my nutsack in place, and everybody's happy. You understand me? And if you don't love your first pair of MeUndies, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. They're free, no questions asked. I don't give a fuck if you blow a fart in there like you haven't taken a shit in 18 days, and dialysis is no option. MeUndies has dozens of styles and limited edition prints to help you make.
What style do you use?
I
man?
use the one with fucking colors. All right, make a statement with your underwear, whether anyone can see them.
Are they like the
or not.
Are they like the Speedo type? Or
No,
like
no,
boxers?
no. Those are for Greek people. I'm a white Cuban dude with a big dick and a lot of personality. I gotta wear boxer shorts tight. These are tight. Plus, I'm chubby, so it keeps everything in perspective. You understand me? Listen, MeUndies, I love them. I fucking want
I gotta
them.
check these undies out.
Next
man.
time I go to Jiu-Jitsu, I'll
You
show
maybe
them
you want to
on
get these
Tuesday.
MeUndies.
They're tremendous. And you know what the best of them is? They deliver them to your house. Here's what I'm going to do. Shipping is free in the U.S. and Canada, and you can save up to $8 a pair with MeUndies subscription plan. That's right. Get the subscription plan or a single pair, and I'll get you 20% off your first order when you go to MeUndies.com/Joey. That's MeUndies.com/Joey off your first order. All right? That's MeUndies.com/order. The most comfortable underwear you ever wear. Why? Modal. MOHDAL.
I would have to Google that.
Let me
man. I
talk
never
to you
heard
people
that.
about something on the up and up here, because you people think I don't want you for me to sound like some fucking psychic or some okey doke from the other side. You understand me?
Never.
Let's be honest. Everything starts in your head. Everything. I don't give a fuck. A thought. You know, someday I'm gonna become a ballerina. Boom, there you go. That's a thought. That's a seed. Everything starts in your head, all right? Most problems start in your mind. Fear, anger, stress, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness. They begin in your head and they grow like a fucking weed. You understand me? It's like when you got a girlfriend and she goes away for 3 days. You don't know if she's licking somebody's nutsack. You don't know what she's doing. It's like bingo on your mind. You sit there trying to watch TV, but nothing's the same. You try to eat sushi, but you can't do it. It's a fucking nightmare, all right? That's when you fucking turn to Uncle Joey, all right? Because all these things, they begin in your head and they wreck your life. But here you go. It doesn't have to be that way. You can make a major difference in your life by ready for this 10 minutes a day. This change comes through guided meditation with the new Headspace app. Listen to me. Headspace is meditation made simple. That's it. You don't got to show up nowhere, put sandals on, and hang out with a bunch of fucking people, smell like onions and God knows what. This is guided meditations that you listen to whenever you want, wherever you want, right on your phone, computer, or tablet. Nobody needs to know dick. Meditation is rooted in thousands of years of tradition, with thousands of scientific studies that show its positive effects. It improves focus, relationship harmony, and it decreases anxiety and stress. Join over 5 million users already getting the Headspace for free. Right now. Right now. You go to Headspace right now. I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to download the free Headspace app and begin their Take 10 program for 10 days of guided meditation at headspace.com/Joey. Once again, that's headspace.com/Joey. The Headspace Take 10 program is a 100% free way to experience the benefits of meditation in your busy modern life, okay? You could stop anywhere. By yourself, you go to the ladies' room, the men's room, you close the fucking thing, and you can just sit there, take your shoes off, whatever the fuck you want to do. Train your mind for a healthier, less stressed life. Start your free trial today. That's from Uncle Joey, all right? So do me a favor. Go to headspace.com/Joey. That's headspace.com/Joey. It's not a bad idea. I want to thank Headspace again. MeUndies and On It. 3 great companies. If not, I wouldn't be fucking around with them. And I want to thank my main man, Professor Joey Alvarado, the Captain Kirk of KettleJutsu.com. You understand me? If you don't know, now you know, cocksuckers, okay?
Thank you for having me, man. It was awesome.
And like I said, he's a great guy, and if you're looking to improve your jiu-jitsu, maybe just let's say you live in fucking Chicago, and you're looking for a kettlebell program. They could download this,
Yeah,
right?
for sure, man.
Boom, and they can download to their tablet, to their phone.
Yeah.
There you
Phone,
go.
tablet, computer, whatever.
Lee Syatt, what's on your agenda for the weekend? You gonna pick Mom up tonight? It's over.
No, I have
Look at the shape.
everyday
of
cannabis and life in neutral tomorrow.
Okay. And what are you doing tonight?
I have no idea.
You're not picking Mom up and spanking her nothing. You're not choking her to death, nothing. She's not cooking pork chops and nothing.
I don't think so.
What the fuck kind of thing? You didn't bring over like a fucking lomo so she could cook?
Lomo.
Yeah.
What's a lomo?
I don't know, a chunk of meat. You go down to the butcher with...
That's some Cuban lingo.
Yeah.
Lomo.
That one lomo. Ball, and they give you a chunk of meat. You take it to fucking mother-in-law. You say, listen, there's tacos for Tuesday night and next Saturday. You understand me? Get it together. I'll be here at 5 with sour cream and some Coca-Cola. Everybody gets happy.
Okay, I'll invite her.
Not invited to your house. That's a nightmare. They'll never leave. You're invited to your house. They discover the remote control and Telemundo. It's all over. It's all over. Next thing you know, you're sleeping on the couch till you get married. The mother's over there every day. The brother with the kids, they're jumping up and down on your computer. Well, they got to move back to fucking Kentucky. Next thing you know, I got everybody over there playing the drums and they want to answer questions. How do I get a movie role? And that's fucked up, Syatt. You know I love you, cocksucker. I'm happy you're getting it together. You're looking good.
Thank you, buddy. It was fun. I'm interested to see one of your classes.
Yeah, man. Because I got a bunch of stuff on you. Check out YouTube. Check out the Instagram. You can see, man. And you ever want to come down, man?
Lee's come a long way, dog. Lee's
Yeah?
a fucking animal. Yeah, I'm surprised he likes this shit. He really goes and he pays attention. And,
Kettlebell shit is rubbed off on him.
I did the most. It's not my heaviest two-handed swing, but it's a long. I did 10 and 10 with 28 kilograms today.
It's not bad, man. I mean, it's not even about I don't really push weight on people, man. It's not about weight. It's about safety first and getting the movement and everything.
It's the game I play against myself. That's all. That's all I want.
Don't
challenge yourself a little bit every day.
Yeah, you got to challenge yourself, but just be careful.
That's what happens when you're Jewish.
careful.
You got to challenge yourself every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? If not, you don't get the big envelope. You know all about this shit. What else, Lee? That's all you got for me? That's it.
That's all I got, man.
All right. I love you, Joey Alvarado. I love you, Syatt. Thank you very much. I'm going to be in Pittsburgh tomorrow night, Friday night, and Saturday night. 2 shows, ready to rock. It's all over. I'm going to be working on the Ari Shaffir story that I'm taping Tuesday night at the fucking Cheetah in Hollywood. 6 o'clock. Yeah, the strip club.
The strip club, Cheetah.
Yeah, we shoot the
famous.
This Is Not Happening there. So we're going to shoot Sunday night. Doug Stanhope is shooting. I don't know who's shooting Monday night. I'm shooting Tuesday night. And I think they're also shooting Wednesday night. Free tickets. Go to Ari Shaffir's Twitter or his website, and they'll guide you where the fuck to get free tickets.
Nice.
All right? Have a great weekend. Stay black. I love you, cocksuckers. Hit it, Lee.
What's the closing song?